So yeah, because just like today too, another thing you false historians, which by the way, the one to the everything else the apostles, all praise the Lord to Yahweh Shemel Shah. Okay, now let me just look this up here first. Okay, yeah, another thing you historians get off that you bug out to do is like the other day I was seeing a video, for example. Let's start off with a scripture here, Proverbs 22 and 29. Let me pull that up. Another thing that you false Christians do is let me get the scripture first. False historians do. These bug out, or these bug outs in general do. Which I'm gonna have to make a video on it later too. I just want to get this on wax now, but this is Proverbs 22:29. Do you see someone skilled in their work? They were served before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank on it. And someone who's not diligent in his work, you're not going to serve before a king. You're a minor. You're mediocre. So you're not going to serve before kings and rulers. That's why those that you can see, there's stories of people that's been homeless, but they work all the best that they have and then try their best to and do their best to perfect something. Like if they this it can be this homeless person, this child that grew up homeless, that from the slums of India, and he had as a young boy he could have had a dream in his heart to have the best designer clothing line ever that all these rich people would buy for hundreds of thousands of dollars from his ideas in his clothes, right? Clothing lines. You have clothing lines that rich people buy. You don't see rich people. Some of them do, but most of them they don't shop their clothes in Walmart or the thrift store. They go to most of them go to Louis Vuitton stores or Gucci stores. Their stories of Gucci, who was a nobody, which he was a faggot by the way. So fuck him. But and Louis Vuitton, who was also I think he was a faggot too. But or even like the dudes, McDonald's, the dude who made McDonald's too, Ronald McDonald, whatever. He started out with one store, right? But he perfected his work to get the best. They got up there because they didn't want just a mediocre. Those who are just mediocre, they don't get up there. They wanted to go higher. So that's what this is going into, Proverbs 22:29. Do you see someone skilled in their work? So I'll say all that to say this to you historians that go get things off, or to just people who may be enthusiasts of his story and things of that sort of history. And they may go into the deep state and shit like that, and these conspiracy theories, actual conspiracy theories that's not facts. Like one of them being that reptilian doctrine. Okay, and then other ones being other types of things. Like some reptilian race that lived here in America before humans, and they were just making buildings and monuments here, things like that. Um, yeah, for the most part, that's off. There's no such thing as a reptilian that lives here. Yeah, demons yeah, it's not far fetched for a demon to be able to do that. Demons can come here in the form of humans and in forms of other types of ghosts and apparitions. That's true. That happened in Egypt when the Lord sent the plague of darkness. It mentioned how they were seeing creatures that was newly made, which were really just demons, because demons have the power to do that. Satan had the power to show himself as a man when he came to Yahweh Shai and showed him a vision, so it's not far fetched. Yeah, it's true. angels can come in forms of humans. When Joshua was in the book of Joshua, Joshua saw an angel that looked like a man in wearing army and type of gear. So yeah, but what was I about to say?
Bacon, who I believe Francis Bacon was William Shakespeare. He penned the book The New Atlantis. He believed that this land called North America, he believed that this was the site of the original Atlantis.
So this is right here when he goes way off, bro. The Atlantis. Let me look something up here. This is just when he goes real just left and bugged out. Let's look this up. The Atlantis remains. There is no definite proof that Atlantis remains. Scholars believe it was a fictional creation by Plato. However, the legend of Atlantis may have been inspired by real events or locations, and many underwater ruins and natural formations have been proposed as possible candidates for inspiration, though none have been conclusively identified as the mythical city. Yeah, and a lot of those videos that show that are just bootlegs. Those are just false. Like, yeah, the scriptures speak about giants and how in Joshua they were giants, bro. But even when it says that, bro, it's not like there were big ass fucking giants that like fucking size of skyscrapers. I don't believe there's any such thing like that, though. I don't believe that. When it says giants, it meant that they were like 18 feet tall at the most. Some maybe 20 feet tall at the most. That's about it, bro. It's nothing fucking more than that. Like, they think they're trying to put it as something like Jack and the Giant, like that type of giant and shit. No, that's not true there, bro. It's going off there. Trying to be too deep. Like this right here. I never really gotten into this. Ultimately, we just get into the scriptures. Yeah, like there's cities and remains of Atlantis there. That's what he's referring to. He's saying that was America.
He also believed that this land was going to be fulfilling major prophecies according to what he studied in the occult world.
Yeah, and America is going to fulfill major prophecies, bro. But he's saying all types of bug out shit here. Look.
All the way back to ancient Greece. So, interestingly, when you study the writings of the New Atlantis, you're going to find out that America has been fulfilling these prophecies. I mean, it makes perfect sense. So much so that the occultists, such as Manly P. Hall, who was a major theosophist, by the way, he taught that America was going to be that beacon of light in the last days. He said that this nation was literally going to be shining like a light on a hill, that we were going to shine across the world and societies. What's interesting about this is that the secret societies that rule America, that founded this nation, we believe that was the reason that they came here under the guise of freedom of religion. See, we've been taught that freedom of religion was all about...
And then they go into the Antichrist being one man. Okay. Okay, and then I want to talk about this one clip that they were playing. This one, let me pull up another script, man. Colossians 3 and 23. Okay. Colossians in the NIV 3 and 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as work for the Lord, not for human masters. Okay. So anyway, without further ado, even when they go into I played this other clip going into how they were trying to link Issachar and Aztecs with fucking the Freemasons, and how basically they were running everything from the beginning. Now that's trying to be too deep, goddamn deep right there. The Aztecs, they might have had the pyramid there, but the reason they had a pyramid there was only because they knew how to make that, and they got that all the way from Assyria. So some of the people there that were brought from Pt.2 over there, they already knew how to make pyramids and had the knowledge of making pyramids. And honestly, personally, me, I believe that pyramids were already there before they were there. They just ended up going in there and then seeing that and then using that to make their other pyramids to other gods, false gods, and whatnot. But it's not going into how the Freemasons weren't ruling everything behind the scenes from the beginning. Alright, I saw a clip there about someone trying to say all that, trying to go too deep. No, it's Colossians 4 and 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Because ultimately, they don't work for the Lord. They're going to come off of their own vain ideologies and try to go deeper than what it is. It's simply the Aztecs or Israelites that were going to fall off from their heritage because they couldn't keep the commandments in their own land. By doing so, the Lord was going to already curse them by removing them from the land. Now they were going to serve other idols, other gods. So it wasn't necessarily that the Lord... It wasn't necessarily just us falling from our heritage, all right? It was also deeper than that. It was the Lord pissed off at us. That's why we would fall off from our heritage. It's not just simple as us falling from our heritage, so that's it. No, we went off. The Lord got pissed off at us. We pissed the Lord off. Now we were going to serve other gods. That's what happened. So Colossians 3 and 23 again. Whatever you do, work at it with all your hearts. Okay, and heart is deceitful above all things. That's really wicked. So without this knowledge, they incorporate their other false doctrines, philosophies, and other myths that they ain't even true, and try to go too deep. Like once again, saying that they even tried to make a guy look like he was behind it with the Freemasons the whole time, when we were already in our respective kingdom, still going off, and Esau was already in that 1,000 years bottomless pit that it was prophesied he was gonna be in. So he wasn't doing anything for a certain season. And if anything, Esau wasn't all over the road controlling shit behind the scenes all that time, no. Now, at one point, he might have ended up, especially down there, and specifically in Italy, where the Bargiers would end up coming into the scene, taking Jake out of power, creeping in. Now, I believe there, in that specific area, Esau wasn't behind the scenes and shit. Possibly even in Egypt. They could have had their own secret little... Esau could have had his own secret little... Because they show you that in the game Assassin's Creed. And I could see that being a possibility. Esau having some type of hiding behind the scenes somewhere because he is the serpent. But as far as him just behind everything at that time, that would have been too early. Now we are in a time now where Esau has everything in his hand, or whoever's given into the hand of the wicked, Job 9 and 24. That's the point there. Shalom and the bar.